Hello everyone. Apologize I wasn't able to get back to you yesterday. I'm actually taping this from inside my car because it's raining. But I wanted to follow up on the message I left last week, the devotion I left last week about this tree. And I said it reminded me of the New Testament book of Philemon. And then I asked you to challenge you to actually figure out why that might be. So let me just fill you in. This tree has two different colors of blossoms on it. You can see the top part, and then you can see the bottom part is pink. Again, the top is white, and they're not the same blossoms. They're two separate kinds of blossoms that are on there. It's a tree that's been grafted at some point in the past, and I'm in my neighborhood actually. And so what does it have to do with Philemon? Well, let me just say something about Philemon. I hope you took the chance to read it. It's one chapter long. It's very short. And but if you did, you may have noticed there's actually three main characters that are related to that very short New Testament book. One of them is the Apostle Paul, who's writing the letter. One of them is Philemon, who the letter is being written to. And the other is Onesimus, who was a runaway slave. And in particular, he was a runaway slave from Philemon. And so, again, I'm not really going to go over the content of the letter other than to say this. The three main characters in that, again, very short little letter are from as far away from one another on the social stage, if you will, as they could possibly be. Paul, in another letter in the New Testament, is referred to as he refers to himself as a Hebrew of Hebrews. You know, he was the son that every Hebrew mother loved and adored. And so again, he was very Jewish, very Hebrew. Philemon, on the other hand, was a wealthy Greek man. He came from pagan roots, and at some point he was converted to Christ. And lastly was Onesimus, a runaway slave. And you could not get any farther down on the social scale in the first century of Israel than a runaway slave. Onesimus actually deserved to die because of that. So again, these three men who are as far away from one another as they could possibly be in regard to their, quote, roots, unquote. And yet we discover in this little letter that they have one thing in common. And the one thing in common is their now new roots in Jesus Christ. And so even though they're very, very different from one another, again, come from very different places, if you will, socially, they all blossom from the same root, again, which is the root of Jesus Christ. And so when we think about the world that that we live in, not just in our country with all kinds of subsets of cultures, but across the planet, we find the same thing, that we have people who come from all over the place, all walks of life, all different sorts of social backgrounds, all kinds of economic backgrounds, and yet at the same time they are able to claim Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. I hope you can claim Christ as your Lord and Savior today as well. So I'm going to do the best I can to post one of these devotions every day, but I may miss a few occasions, so sorry about that. We'll see what happens for tomorrow. God bless, my friends. Have a great day.